Logan Sargeant is now the only driver whose seat is not guaranteed for the next season, and it can very well happen that the American driver only has this season to show for in his F1 CV. While the team has stated they want Sargeant next year, they could change their minds if he doesn't perform well until the end of this one. Could Logan's rookie career end in disaster? Or can he bounce back and show Williams that he has the talent, he just needs time? The Japanese Grand Prix was just another drop in the ocean for Logan Sargeant's poor performances this season, further diminishing his prospects of securing a spot on the grid for the upcoming season. The American rookie was already under scrutiny for a string of recent crashes, notably the one at the Singapore Grand Prix that resulted in the destruction of his front wing. That's why a very good display was needed, one that could elevate his morale and establish a solid mental footing for the remaining of the races this year. Suzuka is respected by many drivers, not just for its intricate corners, but also for the inherent risk-reward dynamic that looms with every turn of the wheel. And in Sargeant's case, he took a gamble that proved costly during qualifying. Pushing too hard, he paid the price, and at the final corner, he was overly passionate on the throttle, causing him to lose control and veer onto the grass. This led to a collision with the barriers, leaving the Williams team bitterly disappointed. Things didn't get any better for the American driver in the race, as he collided with Valtteri Bottas early on at the hairpin, eliminating both from the Grand Prix. At the start of the season, Sargeant's performance, relative to his more experienced teammate Alexander Albon, was praised, but at a stage where you would expect a driver to be making tangible improvements, the increase in speed has all too often been accompanied by incidents. Sargeant faces 6 more races to solidify his spot on the F1 grid, and despite the public vote of confidence from team principal James Vowles, it's evident that he'll need to elevate his performance compared to teammate Alex Albon while steering clear of accidents. Undoubtedly, the awareness that time is running out will only intensify the pressure in the upcoming weeks, particularly when he competes in front of his home crowd in Austin and Las Vegas, so it will be a very difficult challenge for the 22-year-old. When a team brings on a rookie, it anticipates a learning curve and is prepared to bear the associated costs. And even someone as impressive as Oscar Piastri, enjoying one of the most remarkable F1 debut seasons in recent memory, faced setbacks in Montreal and Zandvoort. Regrettably for Sargeant, his series of rookie year incidents has far exceeded the typical experience. And frustratingly for all parties involved, this trend has persisted well into the latter half of the season. This streak of incidents in basically every race after the summer break, combined with earlier accidents in the year, has resulted in a substantial bill for costly damages that has impacted the timely arrival of new parts at the track. Additionally, Sargeant has yet to contribute to the team's points tally, with Albon accounting for all 21 points earned thus far. And while Williams has a cushion over Haas, Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri, it won't take much at a high attrition wet race, for example, for its rivals to score big, because even one lost championship place will be very costly. Vowles arrived at Williams long after his predecessor, Jost Capito, signed Sargeant. Nevertheless, he insists that he's fully behind the American, and having worked a lot with young drivers at Mercedes, he understands the challenges that they face. Logan has very clear targets that he has to hit before the end of the season, and we're working with him continuously, Vowles said in a team video after Suzuka. That's the important point, we're working with him. We want him to succeed, and we want him in the car next year. This is very much on us as well. We have taken someone straight from F2 without any significant testing, put them a day and a half in Bahrain in this car, and then wished them well on a season that has been awfully challenging for rookie drivers, full stop. While the team is eager to back Sargeant, they must also weigh the broader considerations of points and the financial implications, as this will undoubtedly be taken into account as Vowles and the higher-ups deliberate on their choices. Fortunately for the current driver, there isn't a junior or reserve driver within the Williams team who is currently building momentum and poised to step into his position. Williams has recently emphasised its support of young drivers by expanding its driver academy to include 4 F3 drivers. Putting Sargeant in the F1 seat for this year was a testament to that. Albon's efforts this year mean it looks safe in P7 in the Constructors' Championship, barring a couple of big results for Haas or Alfa Romeo. 7th would bring a financial uplift, worth about $30 million more in prize money than last year, when it finished last in the championship. Sargeant's unique position as the only American driver on the grid continues to be viewed as a significant asset by the team's owners, Dorilton Capital. And this is particularly relevant as the United States now hosts 3 races. He enjoys a strong rapport within the team, and unlike his predecessor, Nicholas Latifi, Sargeant has demonstrated an ability to quickly adapt and perform at a competitive level over race weekends, so it's a matter of effectively combining all these elements. Vowles has emphasised that revitalising one of F1's most historic and accomplished teams will be a lengthy endeavour, and opting to replace Sargeant and shifting to a fourth distinct driver pairing in as many years, including Russell/Latifi in 2021, Albon/Latifi last season, and Albon/Sargeant this year, would certainly not signal a sense of stability. At the start of the season, the overwhelming feeling was that the first-year drivers must now, more than ever, be considered long-term investments due to their limited exposure to F1 machinery before embarking on their debut seasons. However, the situation has since changed a lot. There's always a competitive alternative waiting in the wings to seize the opportunity from an underperforming driver, which AlphaTauri was a prime example of, but against many odds. I'd say recently confirmed Yuki Tsunoda and Daniel Ricciardo as their lineup for 2024, despite Liam Lawson's commendable stint as a stand-in for the injured Ricciardo in the last 4 rounds. As it stands, Lawson will assume reserve driver responsibilities once again next year, a somewhat disheartening outcome given his impressive performances in the AT04. Yet, the New Zealander has demonstrated more potential in 4 races than Sargeant has throughout the entire season, rendering him an intriguing prospect for Williams, and any potential deal would undoubtedly be complex, especially considering Red Bull's inclination to retain ties with him in their pursuit of a drive for 2025. The previous year's Formula 2 champion, Felipe Drugovich, is also vying for a seat as he undertakes reserve duties for Aston Martin. Should he fail to secure a contract, he would become the first F2 champion since 2013 to miss out on a spot in F1. For Drugovich, Williams represents the last chance to secure a grid position next year. Otherwise, it appears he may miss out before other deserving young talents emerge, and potentially push him down the list of contenders. In weighing their options, one advantage the Grove-based team enjoys is time. With all other 19 grid slots confirmed, they can meticulously evaluate the most fitting choice without fear of losing out to another team. Williams takes pride in its driver development program, and seeks to reap the rewards of the investments made in their young talents, which is a factor that could complicate the decision to part ways with Sargeant as they endeavour to navigate the situation. The team is also keen on moving forward after years at the bottom of the standings, and further disruptions to the driver lineup might lead to an additional instability. However, the question lingers. How much longer can Williams afford to wait for Sargeant as the team's expenses accumulate? Williams has been extremely clear that they want to develop Logan, and that they know they pulled him up early. They're less concerned with his pace than his destructive totals at this point. I think as they have a clear interest in Logan working out, he's the first one of their junior drivers to be brought up, and if they want their current juniors and future juniors to take them seriously, they need to show willingness to support that program at the highest level. The strain on development is tangible. With an increasing demand for spare parts to see through the remainder of the current campaign, and only a handful of race weekends left in the season, Sargeant must balance his improved speed with a reduction in errors. So what are your thoughts? Do you think that Sargeant will stay in Formula 1 next year, or will Williams replace him with Lawson or some other talent? Let us know in the comments below, and we will see you in the next video.